And with that, thank everybody for being out here at 6 o'clock, September 18th, City of Pasadena City Council meeting. We'll begin with Tony Schumann from First Baptist Christian Academy, their invocation, and Bruce Lehman, is that right? You'll be doing the pledges. Please stand.
Father God, we come before you tonight recognizing that you are the creator and the ruler of this universe, and that we live only because you put breath in our bodies, and the sun comes up because you tell it to. And Father, you tell us also that you've created governments so that we could live safe and orderly lives. And we thank you, Father, for these men who have agreed to serve this community. I pray that tonight you will give them clean hearts, pure hearts with no agenda other than to serve this community and these people. I pray that you would give them clean minds and the ability, Father, to see through issues and to come to conclusions that serve the people of this community. And I know that's what they've been elected to do. I know that's what they want to do. I pray, Father, that all the parts of us that are just human and sometimes fall short will just not be here tonight. I pray, Father, for those that are in the audience who have concerns that they wish to bring before the council, that they would do so in a way that would benefit discussion and benefit the opportunity to find solutions. And we pray, Father, that you would continue to watch over this community, and we thank you for the blessings that you've given us. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thomas, you get the scouts up here?
The scouts are good.
They're taking small steps. Come on up, guys.
Come on, wait. Right there. Good.
You scout.
We're going to do the state flag and then the Texas. Please join me in the pledges. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Great. Y'all are leading us. Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
With that, Mr. Lehman, before you talk, I see Eric Mickey out here, the $25,000 man.
Stand up.
Stand up, Eric. If no one knows why he's a $25,000 man, we won $25,000 for Madison Job, which is our senior center, from WellCare Texan Plus. He's the grand champion. Are you throwing the ball out, or have you thrown the ball out?
I'll be throwing it out this Friday evening.
He'll be throwing the first pitch out at the Astro game Friday evening?
Yes, Wayne first.
And again, we're all proud of you. We're all proud of everybody at Madison Job. Thank y'all for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You bet. I'm sorry, Mr. Lehman, go ahead.
It's okay. First of all, I want to thank the council for the serenade. It was totally unexpected, but greatly appreciated. Thank everybody for coming out this evening. Eric, congratulations. I'm so happy for you and Madison Job to get that prize. And I also want to, our neighborhood network had a team up to cleanup event, and they did a couple of homes in my district, and not only my district, but throughout the city. And they really helped several people that were really in need of things to be done around the house. And I just want to let them know I thank them and appreciate that. And one other thing, this coming Saturday from 8 to 10, our police department's having coffee with a cop, McDonald's, Pasadena Boulevard and 225. So if you'd like to come out and meet some of our police officers, come on out. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Don Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to recognize my friends, the American Legion. So happy to see you. I'm also a member. I praised your property in the 80s when they put it on the tax roll, and I never have figured out yet why y'all paying taxes. It's supposed to be a non-profit, I thought. But thank you for the service and honor that you have Service, being in the service is not easy, but I know you served with honor as I did, and I'm proud of the word honor. You gave the sacrifice to this country, and some of them gave the ultimate sacrifice. We think of all the veterans, and the older I get, the more it seems like that's one of the bedrock organizations in this United States. From the 1919, when you organized, American Legion is behind everything to help the veterans. GI Bill, home loans, everything. It came from the American Legion. I read my magazines, and I sincerely appreciate y'all gentlemen for being here. It's an honor to be with you and to serve with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sammy Casados.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I'm sorry.
I answered
Wow,
either.
wow, that was, yeah, so, sorry about that. Wow, my train of thought just went, wow. So, thank you all for being here this evening. I appreciate it. It's nice to see a packed house. I too would like to thank the Neighborhood Network. They did some homes in my district, District D, and they did a fantastic job, so I'd like to thank them for that. Thank you to the police chief, everybody, for being here. And also, I would like to send out my prayers and condolences to the individuals, families, everybody on the East Coast. You know, they just got hit by that major hurricane over there, and it's still raining and there's flooding going on. We've all been in that situation. We know how it is. And again, if we could just stop and say a prayer for those folks, it'd be greatly appreciated. So with that, I pass, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Cody Ray Wheeler.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to recognize we have some students here from First Baptist. If y'all wouldn't mind stand up. I know they do a government project. We can give them a round of applause. They come out here, and part of your class credit is you have to attend a government meeting, reach out to someone who's in government, and Hunter reached out to me and asked some questions, and so we hope they were helpful. And it's good that you come to this, because sometimes you see different things going on in the city, but here you get to see how things are done, how the sausage is made, so to speak. American Legion, thank you for being here and joining us. Also want to thank Team Up to Clean Up. It was a really great event. A lot of these homes in Pasadena are really aging, and with that, some of the residents are getting older, and it's hard. It's hard to do some of the things they used to do when they're younger, so it was really just an awesome event to see so many volunteers come out and help clean up some of those homes, take down sheds, do a little paint, some gardening, whatever the case was. It really makes Pasadena a better place. Also, we have elections coming up, midterm elections, and I see quite a few young people in here. And if you're turning 18 by November 6th, which is election date, make sure you register to vote. You have to register to vote within 30 days before the election, so no later than October 6th. So if you're not registered, make sure you register by October 6th. That'll pass.
Thank you, sir. Phil King.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for coming out and being part of city government today. Judged a lot of barbecue this weekend, so I got some good ribs and good chicken and some cook's choice. It was very good. And by the way, the Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo starts this Friday, the 21st, and runs through the 29th. And Thursday will be the livestock auction for all the livestock that the youth raises to be auctioned off out there. Come out and watch all the rodeo events, as well as a long list of entertainers that's going to be out there on our revolving stage. Elevator has been fixed to help our senior citizens and our handicapped people get up and down to the suites. Especially, we want that operating. We got a lot of buyers that's going to be using those suites out there, and they're the ones that buys the livestock. And all this livestock, every bit of money that we raise out there goes for the scholarships for the youth of our community. Without a pass, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Kerry Bass.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We've got a packed house. We must have a lot of presentations going on today. I want to recognize Mr. Leroy Stanley in the back, past councilman, and also Ms. Pat Van Hout. She's back over in the back. Also wanted to give a yell out. I was talking to a gentleman, is Hot Wheels, I believe. They won a championship. I think something's coming up on that.
Oh, there's Peggy.
Yep. And the Scouts and American Legion. Eric, congratulations. Thank you very much for participating. Remember, if the nun can make it to the pitcher or to the catchers, you've got to be able to do it.
There you go.
So practice on that. And with that, I pass.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening,
Thomas, you bet.
everyone. I also would like to recognize everyone tonight and appreciate all the council members' comments this evening. I would like to also recognize Mr. Leroy Stanley, Ms. Pat Riley, and Ms. Pat Van Hout, as they were former council members that served. Also, too, I'd like to welcome my friends, the Lands, tonight. Welcome to y'all. And special welcome to Luann from Madison Job, and also Ken from our animal shelter. You know, animals and seniors, we need to get them together. You know, man's best friend with seniors and grandmas and grandpas. What a winning combination, right? And also, too, I would like to recognize one of our senior officers that's in the house tonight. We're looking at him right there. Mr. James Anderson, thank you for your
Glad
service.
to see you back.
Good to see you back. Special recognition tonight goes out to PAC 840, the young men that helped us with our pledges this evening. Thank you for what you're doing with our young people, and also thank you to our American Legion folks that really set the path for our young people to follow. So we really appreciate what everyone's doing for our community and for our nation. And with that, I pass.
Thanks, sir. Felipe Villarreal.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's good to see so many people here today. I'd like to thank him for recognize him for his triumph over there. He's going to throw out the first pitch, and you deserve it. I'd like to thank the team up and cleanup effort as well. They did a fabulous job, especially in my district where I have some houses who do have a lot of need. Those people were very grateful for their work that they did. I'm very grateful. It was a complete success. And I want to thank all the volunteers that were out there taking the time from their lives to go out there and perform that with just to help out and help somebody, our fellow citizens out. It was a great day that day. I'm honored to have been a part of it. And with that, thank you once again for being here. And with that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. All right, citizens wanting to speak to council, Robert Jeter.
First up is general advisement to the city. The mosquitoes are currently really bad. Please dump out any standing water, clean gutters, mow grass, etc. to help limit their population. Second, there has been a number of vehicle break-ins in my neighborhood of Village Grove. Please make sure we lock our vehicles to make it harder on criminals to abscond with their ill-gotten gains. Friday morning around 3 a.m., my own locked vehicle was accessed and window rolled down in the middle of a rainstorm. Fortunately, whoever accessed my truck set off the alarm and ran off before taking anything. Pasadena PD and the officers who are employed by our HOA off-duty are doing a great job of staying up on the issues despite the alarming number of incidents recently. Best of luck to them in their hunt for the culprits. Now for a bit of history lesson. January 16th of this year, the entire city was frozen under an ice storm. City Hall was closed down, but we still had a council meeting. My own family advised me to sit that one out because the icy conditions were too hazardous. But I had a feeling I needed to be here, and my dedication to transparency and accountability was simply too great to let the opportunity slide. So I hopped in my truck and made the rescue drive here, passing 18-inch icicles hanging off the side of the beltway. When I got here, there was council and just a small handful of folks in pre-council. When that risk paid off, and I heard with my own ears this administration admit to hiding things in the budget while clarifying they were not hidden from council members. The very next meeting on February 6th, I raised the question, and I quote, who then were they being hidden from? The citizens, the taxpayers, law enforcement, who? That was February. It's now September, and not only is that question still unanswered, but when a councilman stated that this administration was hiding things in the budget during last regularly scheduled meeting, he was escorted from the room. If this administration is going to continue to not be transparent, I would ask that it recuse itself from any future budget discussion to preserve the integrity of council decisions. If that cannot be done as a function of office, then please resign from the office. As I fully expect that will not happen, I don't want to hear any lip from anyone in this city when impending protests start back up calling for new city leadership. Those are clearly long overdue and sorely needed in the name of transparency and accountability. Council, I urge you to vote this tax hike down. The taxpayers will remember who stood with them come election time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Steve Robertson?
Well, this is the first time I'll be speaking to the councilman, and I'm concerned about the recent tax increase, to tell you the truth. And I imagine that everybody here is kind of along the same line that I am. And what's especially annoying is the fact that it appears that the council has agreed to go into make an agreement with the commercial interest along the ship channel for a 30% decrease in their tax rate. And you can affirm that or not. I don't know. If it's not true, you can tell me. But that's what was in the paper, in the Citizen paper. And that it seems like to me, if you're going to increase our taxes, you ought to increase the ship channel industry taxes also. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Cassie Willie? Oh, okay. Okay.
This is also my first time speaking to the council, so does it start now?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of council on an issue that's very important, not only to myself, my fellow coworkers, and most importantly, the citizens of Pasadena. When you're having the worst day of your life and you have to call 911, you expect that the person who answers the phone will be knowledgeable, professional, and that they'll be able to get the help that you need. This makes our dispatchers vitally important to the safety of our citizens. My name is Cassie Wiley, and I've been employed with the City of Pasadena for approximately 10 years. I currently serve as a supervisor over the dispatch center. Our police service officers, which are commonly referred to as PSOs, are the employees who work in both our dispatch center and the jail. We are considered essential personnel in the event of major occurrences in the city, such as hurricanes, critical plant incidents, and other disasters. We're on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Over the past several months, I, along with other PSOs and supervisors, have been working together with the police union, city council members, and the mayor on the issue of step raises for our PSOs. For the past 2 decades, the pay scale for the PSOs has received almost no attention and no change. This has caused us difficulty in the retention of quality personnel. The hiring and retention of good PSOs is nothing less than an investment in the public safety of our citizens. We are asking for council to consider the PSO step grade we have presented to the mayor's office. Your support of this proposal shows a commitment not only to the men and women who serve this vital function for the city, but also your commitment to our citizens and their safety. This proposal would allow the police department to put more police officers on the street who are normally assigned to dispatch in the jail due to gaps in coverage that currently exist from our ongoing hiring and retention issues. These issues have been faced by the police department for many years as we frequently lose qualified PSOs and PSO applicants to other agencies with more competitive pay structures. Putting more officers on the street benefits our citizens through faster response times and more proactive police activities, which help deter criminal activity. Employing quality PSOs benefits the citizens and officers by ensuring competent, qualified, and efficient response when our citizens call for help. These PSOs are the first line response when citizens are in need and the lifeline of the police officers who are on the street serving our citizens. They also serve the important detention function when arrests are made. I have witnessed firsthand, despite our challenges, the commitment of our employees to offer quality service to our community. And we appreciate the council's consideration and support on this crucial matter. We know that through, thank you for your support.
Thank you. Joseph Thomas?
Mayor Wagner, council,
On this Friday, September the 21st, we celebrate an annual event, and I shouldn't say celebrate, but more of a memory. It is our National MIA-POW Recognition Day. At this time, the Pasadena Veteran Service Organizations would like to make a presentation. Our commander for the American Legion, Al McQueen, Dave Roy with the VFW, and Bill Bezdek with the DAV. Frank Burke, resident of Pasadena, Texas, served during World War II on the USS Arizona. Burke had the rank of Petty Officer Second Class. Burke experienced a serious casualty which ultimately resulted in a loss of life on December 7th, 1941. This occurred in or around Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Circumstances of the casualty are attributed to missing in action or lost at sea.
Corporal Fred Flainer, Jr., a resident of Pasadena, Texas, was a member of Company H, 2nd Battalion, 38th Infantry Regiment, 2nd Infantry Division. He was seriously wounded by the enemy in South Korea on September 3rd, 1950, and he returned to duty on September 26, 1950. He was listed as missing in action while fighting the enemy in North Korea on November 30th, 1950. He was presumed dead on December 31st, 1953. Reported Department of Defense last known home of record, Pasadena, Texas.
Lieutenant Colonel Warren Parker Smith, Jr. was born in December 1929. Lieutenant Colonel Smith was a resident of Pasadena, Texas, at enlistment. Lieutenant Colonel Smith was a member of the 23rd Technical Support Squadron and served in Vietnam. On June 22nd, 1966, he was a pilot of a Cessna Bird Dog observation aircraft on a forward observation mission 5 miles southeast in southeast Laos, which we never were there, where his aircraft was shot down. His remains were never recovered.
Those who have served and those currently serving in the Armed Forces of the United States are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are those who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. Before we begin our activities this evening, we will pause to recognize our POW and MIAs. We call your attention to the small table, which occupies the place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. We call them POW and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and family tonight, so we join together to pay a humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. This table is set for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner, alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood they have shed to endure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. The rose also reminds us of the family and friends who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon on the vase represents those who demand a final accounting of their comrades who are not among us tonight. The slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt, when sprinkled onto the plate, reminds us of the countless fallen tears of family as they await. The glass is inverted. They cannot share in our meals with us tonight. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors and into the open arms of a grateful nation. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember them and never forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. I would ask that everyone please stand for the playing of taps. Bugler, sound taps. Mayor, Council, thank you for your attention tonight. We appreciate you giving us this honor to honor our fellow citizens of Pasadena. Thank you.
Thank you. Ken Donald?
That's a tough one. Good evening, Mayor Wagner, council members, Mrs. Rorick. My name is Ken Donnell. I have the privilege of serving as manager of Pasadena's Animal Control and Adoption Team. Tonight, I want to introduce Mrs. Sarah Garcia. Sarah came to us in March of this year as a new hire, and she serves as in the position of adoption assistant on our adoption event team. A few months back, Sarah came to me and asked to be our volunteer coordinator. Recognizing her energy and her passion, I took a chance, and I'm ever glad I did. I'd like for Sarah to share with you some of the gains in the volunteer program that we've experienced since she began. Sarah.
Okay, hello everyone. First off, I do want to thank the administration, the council, and the Volunteer Pasadena team for all of their support in our life-saving work at the shelter and adoption center. First off, my name's Sarah Garcia, and I am the volunteer coordinator and adoption assistant for Pasadena Animal Shelter. Over the last few months, thanks to my manager, Ken Donnell, for granting me the privilege to be the volunteer coordinator, our volunteer program has steadily increased. In August 2017, we recorded 193 volunteer hours for the month. In August 2018, we have increased to 913 hours for the month.
Give those numbers again. They need to.
193 to 913. So we now have approximately. Thanks. We now have approximately 500 active animal shelter volunteers. These amazing volunteers have helped us enrich our homeless animal population by providing walks, bath, socialization, and much needed love. Thank you to all of our hardworking and dedicated volunteers. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work. Dan Walker. Dan Walker. Monique Rodriguez.
Hi. Sorry, this is also my first time. Hello, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Monique Rodriguez. Professionally, I am a licensed master social worker serving in the veteran population in Houston. I provide recommendations and develop policy and procedures at the federal, state, and local levels with regards to veterans issues as well as veterans' mental health. Personally, I have a husband and 2 young boys who are 6 and 8 years old. They're at home right now. 5 years ago, we bought our first home here in Pasadena with our VA home loan. After leaving active duty from the United States Army, we like the community, the affordability, the quality of the schools. While we do live in Pasadena city limits, we also live in Deer Park ISD, all within Harris County. I say that to remind you that back in November of last year, my husband and I voted for the school board measure in Deer Park to allow for the funding of a rebuilding of the very school that my boys attend, Carpenter Elementary, as well as many much-needed renovations to other schools, improve security on all the campuses, and provide financial support to manage the quality schools. As you will also remember, last month, Harris County had the flood bond control measure that was recently approved. My husband and I also voted for that because we know that flood infrastructure is also important to our community. While we are very fortunate that we did not flood, we also know that many others cannot say the same. We see the value and the importance of ensuring that infrastructure is in place to prevent future floods. Fortunately, nationally and locally, the economy is doing well. Businesses are thriving, yet the success cannot be found with the individual worker. Worker wages are stagnating, if not declining. Profits are not being passed to the individual worker, including the residents of our community. Therefore, asking for an additional property tax increase to the residents who are already seeing increases due to much other needed measures is a bit overwhelming. Today, I stand and respectfully ask for you to reject and reevaluate the resolution to increase the property taxes for homeowners in Pasadena. Be mindful of the existing challenges that our residents face. As a community, we do need to be responsible for paying and developing the infrastructure of our community that we live. Yet, some of that burden can be placed on the businesses that are thriving and have room in their profits to help support the community that they also live. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Selena Bellar? Oh, he didn't hear. Okay. Hey, Selena, can you?
I'm sorry.
No, you did nothing wrong. Mr. Walker? You may speak. No, you did nothing wrong. I didn't know Mr. Walker was here.
My name is Dan Walker, and I live at 2219 Hickory. And that's a 2-block long street, and we have a new school there. And over the last year or two, the traffic has gradually got better, worse on that 2-block area right in there. Okay, right now those folks are parking there, you know, letting their children out and picking them up, and the first one thing and another. And those people are trying to drive 40 miles an hour from Dallas to Cherrybrook. So we need a speed bump or something in there to, you know, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mayor
Yes, sir.
and
Thank you.
Council.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker, I'll get with you after the meeting.
Selena?
Thank you. And this may be my first time to speak at council, so. Okay, thank you. On Friday and Saturday, September 7th and 8th, the Neighborhood Network's new program, Team Up to Clean Up, sent volunteers throughout the city of Pasadena to assist 20 area homeowners with exterior home repairs, painting, tree trimming, yard work, and building wheelchair ramps. We're very proud of that. These homeowners were either elderly, disabled, veterans, or very low income. The idea for Team Up to Clean Up began after Chevron Phillips Chemical made a generous donation to Neighborhood Network following the devastation of Hurricane Harvey. After we received their donation, our team decided that we needed to put that money to work helping those that could not help themselves, either financially or physically. It was also decided that we would try to run Team Up to Clean Up only using donated funds, in-kind donations, and volunteer labor, which I'm sure all of y'all appreciate. With that said, I would like to share those donation and volunteer labor amounts with you. So sponsorship and in-kind donations right now, we're at $33,875. Volunteer labor, that's 200 volunteers across 2 days, $34,496. Total value given back to the city of Pasadena through this program, drum roll please, $68,371. All, thank you, thank everybody. We have several volunteers here, by the way, and a couple of them on council. All at no additional cost to the city. But it doesn't end there. This total does not include our collaboration with Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity, utilizing grant funding, has graciously donated roofs to be installed at a later date for 7 of our eligible applicants. This donation alone could run as much as $70,000.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that. Now, I would like to take a minute to recognize a couple of our major sponsors here. So, Ryan Taylor of T&T Construction, thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Let me say a little bit about Ryan. Ryan literally has the patience of Job. Because of me. He put countless hours into this project and put up with me, which is a challenge on its own. He says, nobody ever tells me no, right? Okay. Ryan escorted my team around to assess each location and helped me to understand what was needed for each project. He and his team built wheelchair ramps, replaced rotted wood, replaced handrails, and the list goes on and on. He and his company, TNT Construction, are truly great community partners. Thank you, Ryan. And I would also like to thank Shanna Lopez and Waste Management for their in-kind donation of all of the portalettes, hand wash stations, and dumpsters. With 20 projects going at once, this was a huge undertaking, and we couldn't have done it without you. I also want to thank Team Waste Management. As Cody Wheeler can attest to, they were out there working for putting in quite a bit of sweat equity on one of our projects. At my last count, we pulled 2 30-yard dumpsters of trash off of that one property alone. Thank you, Shanna. Thank you for all of your support, and we look forward to Team Up to Clean Up 2019. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, that brings us down to the 2018 tax proposed property tax rate hearing. City Council will meet at the City Council Chamber in City Hall Tuesday, October 9th, 2008 at 3 p.m. and Tuesday, October 16th, 2018 at 6 p.m. to adopt the 2018 property tax rate. Okay, we have 3 people signed up to talk at the public hearing. Steve Roberson. Okay, you already spoke, that's fine. Jerry Jones? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm a resident, a 40-year resident of Pasadena, and I've spoke before council, and I've attended a number of council meetings in the past. I'm here to speak against the tax rate hike. The actual tax bill is made up of 2 components. The city controls one of those, and that's the tax rate. The other component is the appraisal, which is done by the county, and that's county-wide across the state. The appraisal of our homes is always increasing. So I know that Councilman Caton has been quoted in the paper saying something about tax rates, and that so many number of years that the tax rate has been the same. And that's true. The tax rate can be the same as our state sales tax. It sort of stays the same. But the revenue the city gets off the sales tax increases because of commercial values. You know, if we go to the store and buy a head of lettuce, it costs more than it did before. Or anything you buy or do costs more, so therefore the actual owed tax is based on the rate, and you get more. The same thing goes with our property. As the appraisal district says, my house was $140,000 and now it's $170,000 or whatever that number may be. The city is getting quite a bit more taxes out of me without changing the tax rate. So the bill that I have to pay every year is already going up. So basically, you're double dipping me by appraising my property higher and making the tax rate higher. So the city is asking for 2 tax rate or 2 increases in taxes. And I think that's kind of not an American sort of thing to do, but that's the way the system is set up, so they can hide it and say, oh, we've had the same tax rate for a number of years, but really the tax bill goes up every year. And I think the city is getting quite a bit. I think part of the reason why the tax rate needs to go up is to cover the increased mayor's office budget because of the added staff since we got this current mayor. And I understand that there's security details associated with the mayor and his wife, and that's an added value that I'm not sure if the citizens of Pasadena all necessarily agree with, but that's one of the areas where I know city government has grown and that their budget has gone up considerably. And I think I personally don't think we should be paying for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Joseph Thomas, I'm sure you signed up. Is Joseph still here? Okay. Thank you, sir, for talking. Real quick, let me just clear up something you said. I don't have a personal detail for me or my wife. So I don't know where you heard that. We do have security detail for City Hall, but not from me personally at my house, nor my wife. So the city's not paying for that. And with that, we'll move on. The public hearing is over. We're going to presentations. Who's doing the presentation? I bet I know who's doing the presentation. We are. Yes, you come up here. Yes, we'll get a picture. If they can get around the table.
They can if you ever played wheelchair and basketball. They're good.
They'll get around. Oh, believe me, this table will not get in their way.
Hi, I'm Michelle Blunt, and I'm with the Vern Cox Center with the city. I'm here to introduce Jerry and Peggy with Tier Memorial Herman. They have a few things to say, and I'll get back on the mic because I have a few more things to say.
I bet so.
Here they are.
Hi, I'm Peggy Turner, and I work for Tier Memorial Herman, the adapted sports coordinator. Prior to that, I had the privilege of working just over 20 years for the city of Pasadena. This is not my first time here, but it is my first time in this building at this mic. One of the things I wanted to say, since I left the city, it's been about 13, 14 years, I have traveled the country and the world. I've worked at Olympic and Paralympic training sites. I've worked in and out of hospitals, and without a doubt, the city of Pasadena and the investment in all of its citizens, those with physical disabilities, cognitive disabilities, and the senior program is par none anywhere in the country. So what I wanted to do today is thank Michelle and her staff, the mayor and council, for continuing to support the programs out at the Vern Cox Multipurpose Center. It is known around the country and in some places around the world, and we tried to help deliver that message of the value of what this city is doing when this group of young men and women in front of you, high school boys and girls, practiced, trained, played, competed out on the first wheelchair softball field in the nation 30 years ago. We traveled to Chicago, Illinois, and won the Junior World Series Championship. So we are here to thank you. It's the first time in the history in the state of Texas that a group of kids have gone, competed, brought home a World Series. It would not have been possible without the facility and the staff. Jerry Ashworth, our CEO over at Tier Memorial Herman, would like to say a few words. Prior to that, because of you, the citizens and the mayor, we would like to make you one of our honorary Tier Memorial Herman Hot Wheels, have a hat and a medal from the championship. And then we also are bringing that championship home to Pasadena next July, end of July, out at the Vern Cox Center. So with that, we'll bring some tourism dollars, and hopefully those taxes everybody's worried about, we're going to bring some of that from out of state.
Good evening. Just in an effort to be consistent, this is my first time here and have not addressed the council before, so appreciate the opportunity to be here. As Peggy mentioned, my name is Jerry Ashworth. I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Executive Officer for Tier Memorial Herman and the Memorial Herman Rehab Network. And on behalf of our leadership team, I just want to thank you, Mayor, thank the council, thank the city of Pasadena for their support. These athletes right here are incredibly dedicated to what they're doing. They compete at a very high level. We definitely feel like we do our part at Tier, but it takes others to help us, and I think the city of Pasadena has definitely been there for us with resources, with staff, with the facilities. It's really made a difference. Councilmember Harrison, I think I've heard you mention something about their ability to play basketball. These are several of these individuals right here are national champion wheelchair basketball players as well. Hold your rings up. Who's got them on? There's one. Peter, hold it up. There you go. These guys have won national championships in multiple sports. So just want to thank you for your support. Very excited to hear at the
rodeo and stockyards that the elevator is working, so the event will be accessible for all to attend. That means a lot to us, and if there's anything ever that the Tier Memorial Herman team can do to help the city of Pasadena, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, could we get a picture?
We will get a picture,
Oh,
yes.
yes. Okay. So how was, if you could turn around and have your backs towards the council, they're going to get together. We're going to take your picture.
I tell you what, let us stand here, and yeah, let us get here, yes.
So like Peggy said, in 2019, the Vern Cox Center, the city and TIER are going to host the Junior Wheelchair Softball National Championship. So we're really excited about that. Woo! While you guys are taking pictures, we have a few awards to give. At the Vern Cox Center, we'd like to thank TIER for their $4,000 donation to the adult wheelchair softball program that's also practiced at the Vern Cox Center. The adult softball program was able to host a tournament, travel to Victoria, Texas, and also travel to Kansas City, Kansas for the adult wheelchair softball competition. So we have a plaque to present to TIER to say thank you for your continued sponsorship and support. Thank you, TIER. Additionally, we'd like to thank Peggy Turner for her continued support of the wheelchair softball program. Again, Peggy said she worked here for the city 30 years ago and was a driving force in the construction and creation of the Vern Cox Center. She moved away, and now she's back working for TIER and promoting adaptive sports in the Pasadena area. We are excited that you are back and thrilled that you have come full circle. Thank you, Peggy, for all you do for the Vern Cox Center and people with disabilities in the Houston area. Yay! All right, so thank you again to TIER, to the city, the citizens, mayor, council. Adaptive sports is a really cool thing. If you've never seen it, come down to the Vern Cox Center. We're there Monday through Friday, all day, every day. Thank you. Okay, brings down the presentation of minutes, September 4th, 2018. Motion Shanebine.
Second.
Second Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? I'll just pick this up. Presentation of special meeting, September 7th at 2 p.m. Got a motion Lehman. Second Villarreal. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Brings us down to progress payments.
Motion.
Motion Wheeler. Second. Second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Brings us down to financial resolutions. Motion Lehman.
Second.
Second Caton. Any questions?
Mayor, I'd like to abstain from anything in regards to Bass and Meineke.
Will do. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us down to personnel changes A. Motion Lehman.
Second.
Second Shanebine. Any questions?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to abstain from Rick Schuman on the personnel changes.
Yes, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Oh, we have a no. Casados. Brings us down to board and commission report. A, Jackson Place, Section 4, parcel replat, number 1, 1 reserve, 1 block.
Motion.
Motion Wheeler. Second. Second Bass. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Secretary, it brings us down to final readings. And if you'll read ordinance 2018-122 first, and then we'll go through the motion. We have to have a roll call vote on this.
Okay, yes, sir. Ordinance 2018-122, adopting the annual budget for the city of Pasadena, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2018, and ending September 30, 2019.
122.
Yeah, 122.
Oh, we already voted on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Wait.
for the budget?
Yes, we need a motion.
Motion.
Motion Bass.
Second.
Second Shane Bine.
Mayor,
Yes, sir. I was asking for any questions. Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to amend the budget, sorry. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend the budget to include a 3% cost of living increase for employees, police officers.
Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No. Does not pass. Let's go back to the original.
What were the ayes on that?
It was,
Can we have a roll call on that, Mayor?
Roll call.
I have no problem with roll call. We'll start with District A. Lehman? Harrison? Ms. Adams?
Aye.
Aye.
No. No.
No.
And no. Okay, let's go back to the original. We had a motion and a second. And we have a roll call vote for this, starting at District A again.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I want to speak to this. I'm not going to be supporting this budget. I'm not going to be supporting this budget. From the onset of this budgetary process, it hasn't been transparent. We had what was called a budget workshop, but not a single council member was allowed to ask a question during that budget workshop. Part of that budget process included the idea that we're going to be issuing bonds this year. We outright asked, if we issue these bonds, is it going to result in a tax increase? We were told time and time again, no, there will be no tax increase for this additional debt in this budget. This budget, we've asked for a cost of living increase, as you saw, just was voted down. And I don't think that we should be putting the burden on the taxpayers. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of ways that we can save money. We can tighten our own belt around here. And one of those ways is making industry pay its fair share. That's in this budget. If industry, right now, the industrial district is set to pay $17.5 million in property taxes. If they were going to pay the same rate as every working family in Pasadena, they would pay $25.6 million. That's almost $8.6 million a year. And this agreement goes out for 8 years. So it's almost $70 million that the city is losing over 8 years by transferring that burden from the corporations to the working families. And Pasadena is in a very unique situation. We have the United States' largest volunteer fire department. That saves us millions of dollars a year. Millions of dollars a year. And so I'm not happy to see a corporate tax break and an increase on working families. And I won't be supporting this budget.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, I'd like
Yes,
to
sir.
offer a counterpoint to this.
Please.
With the industrial tax, we need to make clear that we're sure on our facts. And with the facts, the industrial district had an agreement for 8 years prior to our new agreement. And with the new agreement, our new construction provides for an increased tax rate for the industrial district. And with that increased tax rate, that still keeps us competitive with our local municipalities within our boundaries here in Harris County. We have a world-class economic engine here at the Port of Houston. And with us raising our taxes on the new construction, they are paying taxes to the citizens of Pasadena. If we were to annex those industrial districts, folks, we have to realize we have to pay for water, we have to pay for sewer, we have to pay for infrastructure, we have to pay for police protection, we have to pay for fire protection. It is not in the best interest of the city of Pasadena to annex these industrial districts. It is in the best interest of Pasadena to levy taxes on the industrial district on their new construction with a new contract as was proposed and negotiated between the industrial districts and our city attorneys. And with that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. Any other comment? Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to explain how to calculate the industrial district fees. We receive the appraisal value from our appraisers, then apply the assessment ratio because the city does not provide city services. And by the way, Pasadena gives the highest confidential assessment ratio of any of our surrounding cities compared to Deer Park, Houston, Port, and Baytown. Next, we multiply the property tax rate, now 57.5 cents per $100, times the results of the applied assessment ratio for the final fee. The reason our neighboring cities receive higher industrial fees is because their property tax rates are 15 to 25 cents higher than Pasadena. And if we annex the industrial districts, it would cost about $11 million more per year than we would receive in the property taxes by annexing them. Plus, we would have to put $15 million probably in reserve for environmental concerns. What if we had a big spill? What if we had an explosion? City of Pasadena now has responsibility. Without a pass, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so this has been an ongoing thing. I think the bottom line here is this. We can get all in the weeds on numbers and what this is going to do. Has all the numbers that you can talk about. There's a 30% deduction in taxes that the corporations are getting, okay? 30%. They're raising our taxes 10.6%. Don't worry about all the numbers and what all that is. Those are the facts, okay? Whenever they're paying, if they were to pay what we were paying, that's a 30% difference. There's no arguing that. So everybody can say, oh, we do this, we're going to annex them, and whatever the case is. Look, we already give them services. The police department goes out there when they have an issue. They make those calls. When there's an investigation needs to be done, guess who gets called? Pasadena PD. When somebody needs to be transported that's get hurt out the plant, guess who they call? They call Acadian. They call Pasadena PD. They get an ambulance service out there. They already buy water from the city. We're giving them services already. I don't understand why we're having an argument about all that stuff, because that's not the point. The point is the fact that they're putting the burden on taxpayers. And I'll tell you this, they gave a 30% discount to corporations, and I did some research and found out the mayor's getting kickbacks from some of these corporations. Look it up. I did. That's the facts. We can't keep doing this. I cannot support this budget because, first of all, it's not transparent. We were not allowed to ask any questions on this. And I'm not going to support a 10.6% increase to you citizens. Stop spending money. That's what we need to do. That I pass, Mayor.
Number one is, you know the rules in here. There's no way, you know better than this. I don't get kickbacks from anyone. How dare you say that? Number two is this. We have never voted on this council for a 30% tax decrease for anything. How dare you say that? Industrial district is not property tax. It's not the city of Pasadena. And you say, don't worry about the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. We get the best rate we get. We win the negotiation. That's the best rate we can get. Councilman Harrison, you said yes, a comment. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I thought this industrial district was over with. I kind of believe what Satchel Paige said. Don't ever look back. Somebody may be gaining on you. But I'm glad they did bring it up, because I have something here I read in the paper, you know. Second Century Economic Development Council now, their spokesman, was in the paper. They built a $4 billion road out there in the industrial district. And I thought to myself, how do they get away with that? So I looked at my charter. He says that, well, $4 million for road infrastructure improvement should help those become necessary as the economic increase to do the industry expansion. That's what they're doing it for. But you know what the city charter says about roads? Article 2, Section 5, and the mayor, you just said it, it's not in our city limits, and that's the key. We can't go in the industrial districts and build roads. It says the city shall have the power to develop and improve or call to be developed and improve any and all public streets, sidewalks, alleys, highways, and other public ways within the corporate limits of the city of Pasadena. That's like us going to the city of Houston and building a road. This is in our extraterritorial jurisdiction, and it's against the law to build roads out there. Yet they go out there and spend $4 million on a road. Now, if they did that, if they'd build some in Pasadena and help us with our capital improvements, we wouldn't have a tax increase. Now, I want to talk to you about the budget because it's tied to the tax increase. Now, and the reason we made an amendment on a cost of living increase for city employees because it's not in here in the memo. It's not in the budget. And so therefore we try to give you
Thank you, sir.
We try to give
Okay,
you a
any
cost
other
of
comments?
living increase.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Yes, sir. Go, Mr. Bass.
Can I have somebody's moments?
No, sir.
You can have mine.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Kerry Bass has the floor, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
We had a contract. It expired. Our legal department got together with over 100 different corporations. They've been negotiating the contract for several months. They came up with the best thing. We need to be competitive. We can either annex or we can have an industrial district out there. Annexation, you're going to end up with about $6 million of tax revenue. By having the industrial district, you get about 17. In my book, that's quite a bit of difference. The city's coming out. We have a 5-year sliding tier. We want to have that industry out there because new construction, we're competing against folks, Deer Park, LaPorte, Pearland, stuff like that. They're going to vie for this new construction. If we don't have these industrial districts, we won't have to worry about that tax because it won't come in. So this is the best thing that we can get. The liability, if we annexed it, we would have to furnish city services. If we had a spill or an incident out there, guess whose deep pockets are going to go after? The industry plus Pasadena. As an industrial district, we do not have that liability. That's not a factor that you can even figure. Mr. Caton mentioned about a $15 million reserve. I don't even know if that can touch it with spills. Things are kind of thrown out there. It's real easy to say you got a 30% discount on the industry. We're going to lay it on the poor taxpayers. I've lived here for 64 years. It's 4 cents. For 35 years, our tax rate has been about 58.4. We're the lowest amongst all of the cities around us. There might be one that's lower. This is not a bad deal.
Thank you, sir.
For that, I pass.
Okay, roll call, starting District A. It's for the budget. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Lehman, Harrison?
Mayor, I think that point of discussion, I think he was right. It's a con job to raise your taxes.
Okay, sir. It's a yes or no vote. Go ahead, sir.
No.
Casados?
No.
Willard?
No.
Caton?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Shanebine?
Yes.
I vote yes. Passes. All right, Madam Secretary, let's go back to final readings.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2018-114, agreement with B&B Consulting Group for annual support for implementing and maintaining an industrial pretreatment program for the city, $50,000. Ordinance 2018-115, purchase of 2019 Doosan DX21 OWE 5-wheel excavator US 50 package from R.B. Everett & Company, $237,056. Ordinance 2018-116, purchase of 2 2019 International HV607 garbage trucks, one 2019-2020 International MV607 chassis for the Altec crane body, one 2019 International 7500 6x4 chassis with Vector 2100 unit, one 2019 Vector 2100i sewer truck, one 2019 International HV507 brush dump truck, and 2 2019 International HV607 grapple dump trucks from Southwest International Trucks, $1,438,000 $1,655.29. Ordinance 2018-117, purchase of 4 Ford F-250 regular cab pickup trucks and 2 2017 Ford Explorer SUV utility vehicles from Silsbee Ford, $177,700. Ordinance 2018-118, accepting, approving, and adopting the evaluation and assessment of all real and property in the city of Pasadena, Harris County, Texas, for the 2018 tax year, designating the Harris County Tax Assessor Collector as the responsible official to prepare the effective and rollback rates and certifying a 2018 collection rate, providing for a repealing clause and containing a severability clause. Ordinance 2018-119, acceptance of a grant of $421,616.64 from the Texas General Land Office for the 2015 flood allocations for rehabilitation of sanitary sewer lines. Ordinance 2018-121, purchase 52 Ford and 6 Chevrolet vehicles from Silsbee Ford Lake County Chevrolet, $1,701,523.06. Ordinance 2018-123, approving the rates for medical, dental, vision, voluntary life, accidental death, and dismemberment for active employees, and flexible spending maximums for the plan year 2019 and 2019 pre-65 retirees medical dental rates and 65 and older retirees medical supplement rates.
So moved.
Motion Wheeler, second Lehman.
Mayor.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to amend
Okay, sir.
2018-123 to read, to amend ordinance 2018-123, add Exhibit A as follows. On page 3 of Exhibit A, to delete paragraph 1, listed under provisions for active employees, and on page 12 of Exhibit A, to change the amount of 300 to 307.05 at item number 3, listed under provisions for medical supplement enrollees.
Second.
Okay, second Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go back to the original vote.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I've got a comment on the health insurance. I'd like to thank Dan Pennington for his hard work on putting together our health insurance plan. Let me turn this on. I called Dan back when we were working on this. I called him I didn't call him, I emailed him on a Saturday, expecting to get a response on Monday. Within 2 hours, I had a response. He had answered my questions, and I said, I really have one more question. So I emailed him again, and within a couple hours, I had my answer. I said, this is unheard of. I'm used to getting responses back on the money. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, sir. Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir, if you got something to say.
We work on this health insurance every year, and perfect, and still under 65, the premiums are going to be for a retiree $1,200–1,400 a month. They can't retire on that. I'm happy with not able to resolve that. It happens every year. Hopefully next year we'll start working on it sooner. And also, we need to go outside, beside Gallagher, try to get somebody else to give us their bid or opinion or whatever. We need to do more on this insurance. But right now, you got to support it because what do you do without it? You got to have insurance, but the premiums under 65 are still too high. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? First readings, ma'am.
Ordinance 2018-124, contract with Southwest Signal Supply, Inc. for the Spencer Highway Traffic Signal Improvements Project Phase 3, CIP T017, for a total appropriation $416,796 from the 2017 Certificate of Obligation Fund balance account.
Motion.
Motion, Caton.
Second.
Second, Shanebine. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 2018-125, agreement with John Thomas for Tennis Pro concessionaire services at the Harry P. Taylor Tennis Center.
Motion, Lehman.
Second.
Second, Bass. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 2018-126, contract with Waste Management of Texas, Inc. for commercial and industrial trash services for a period of 3 years.
Motion.
Motion, Shanebine.
Second.
Second, Caton. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Ordinance 2018-127, accepting a 41-foot paved road recorded as Global Commerce Circle, an 8-inch water line, 10-inch sanitary sewer line, and various size storm sewer lines constructed within a dedicated right-of-way located in the Park 225 subdivision.
Motion Castellanos, second Willard. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Insurance.
Ordinance 2018-128, authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of up to $36 million in aggregate principal amount of the City of Pasadena, Texas, combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation Series 2018, securing the payment thereof by authorizing the levy of an annual ad valorem tax and a pledge of certain surplus revenues of the city's waterworks and sewer system, and approving and authorizing the execution of a paying agent registrar agreement, a purchase contract, an official statement, and all other instruments and procedures related thereto.
Motion.
Motion Caton.
Sure.
Second Bass. Any questions? Go ahead, sir.
I'm only known it's obligation bonds because they don't go out for voter approval. And I'd rather have voter approval. And these bonds, the last time they went on them, I told the city that we're going to have a tax increase. These bonds are predicated on our new tax rate. What it's going to be is 61 cents. So they've got everything figured out, but I don't like these type of bonds because they can use bonds for anything. If the voters approve the bonds, then they got to use the bonds for that particular certain item. And even a citizen has a right, if they go away from using the bonds on that particular item, they can petition the city, one person. This takes all of that out with the city. And also, it's like the tax rate. The gentleman that addressed the tax rate, he's right on nail. We have an appraised value that went up 6%. They posted it in the paper, the city did, August the 15th, and then they changed the budget twice. And that's one reason I voted against the budget. August 15th, they've got $2.6 million more, and that was because of the 6% increase in the ad valorem taxes. And then they come back and change the budget. Here's the latest they posted in the paper. So the budget has been, they don't know what they're doing. And the controller, she approves these values. She set the tax rate. They didn't give us a chance. But that's the problem with this certificate of obligation. Voters don't have approval on it. And I support voters having approval. And if you vote for this, you're voting for the tax rate. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I defer to you, sir.
No, go ahead.
Go, sir. Thank you.
All right. So $36 million in certificate of obligations. This is pretty much the second, or this is not pretty much, this is the second basically huge credit card the city's went out for. It's a $36 million credit card, essentially. We're paying over a 20-year span for $36 million. The last 18 months, 19 months, this will be a total of $73 million that the taxpayers are going to have to pay back. Okay? This is exactly what I'm talking about as far as with the budget and cutting back on your spending. I mean, the reason why the tax rate hasn't went up in 5 years, we've had an administration in the past that's been able to budget and balance a budget. This administration is way out of line, spending way too much money. I mean, you get in a boat, you got taking on more water than what you're putting out, guess what happens? Boat sinks. And that's exactly what's going on right here. I can't support this, because if I do support this, it's going to be, I'm supporting a tax increase. And I tell you folks, we don't need this. We don't need it. We don't need the tax increase. What we need people to do is stop spending money, take a step back, say, what do we need to do? Let's get the city on the right path. Let's get back to basics, guys. That's what we need to do. Take care of the citizens. Take care of our employees. They don't even have a cost of living increase in the budget for our employees. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. I can't support this.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, I'd like to speak to this as well. You know, there comes a time when you have to have a credit card. You know, and there comes a time when you research the best interest rates. And if you use credit wisely, you can accomplish a lot of great things. It sounds silly me saying that, but it's a fact. If you have a washer or dryer that breaks down at your house or a hot water heater, and you have a credit card with a 2.6% interest rate, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a new washer or dryer or hot water. So what the city is doing is they're managing their AA bond rating to get a low interest rate on money that the city can use for infrastructure within the city. And also, too, please remember, we went through Harvey last year. And as we look forward to the future, we have to have matching money to get the federal dollars that are come in and do flood mitigation throughout our community. We have anywhere from 8 to 12 projects slated for our community. We're asking for up to $100 million from the federal government to be able to come in and protect us against floodwaters for the future. Is that even enough? No, but it's a start. And we have to have the money in reserve to apply for that money. And if we don't have that money, then we're going to face some issues in the future with flooding. If we don't have that money, yes, we would like to give our employees a cost of living increase. Yes, we would like to provide excellent police protection. Yes, we would like to provide the best facilities here in Pasadena. 33 years, I've calculated it, we average 0.605 for our tax rate.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
some of the money from this has been designated for infrastructure and public safety. One of the things our police department desperately needs, we need a new police academy. If you've ever been to the one that they use now on Spencer Highway, it's seriously outdated, and some of the money from this is going to go for the police department and the fire department. We need to improve our public safety and infrastructure, and some of this money is designated for that, and that's where it's going to go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, let me just mention what Bruce was talking about. We have a long list of projects that we put together to spend this $36 million on. Now, our debt is coming down, okay, to where we can take on some more debt. If our debt wasn't coming down, we wouldn't have this long list of projects. But our debt's coming down, so we're going to have some more projects. We're going to go in there. Let me give you some breakdowns. Design and acquisition is 4% of this money. Streets is 31% of this money. 17% is drainage and flood control. 1% is in traffic. 31% is in police and fire, which Councilman Lehman was talking about. 8% are municipal courts. 6% parks and recreation, and another 2% on miscellaneous. I've talked to a lot of people in my district. You want us to get the city moving, we can go out on certificates of obligation. We don't have to wait for the taxpayers to vote on like we did in 2002. Now, these numbers that we're looking at are compared to what we had in 2002. All of those projects, that money is gone, okay? Now, to get some more streets and drainage in this city, we need to start taking on some more debt and doing some more projects. What I pass, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Okay, all in favor?
Mayor, I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So again, from the get-go, I don't think the administration was forthcoming about what this bond was going to be, and it does entail a tax increase. We have a $46 million fund balance. We have $46 million in our account right now the city has that we could be using to fund some of these projects. On top of that, I do believe it's important when you're going out for this type of debt, it's important to take it to the voters to give them the option, because this is generational type debt. I think that's the way it's always been done. The last time we went out for bonds was 2002. And from 2002 to 2016, I'm sorry, 2002 to 2018, from 2002 to 2018, the city of Pasadena issued $102 million in debt. So in 16 years, the city of Pasadena issued $102 million in debt. In the last 16 months, we have issued $73 million in debt. That's an annual increase of 450% without any advice from the voters, the ones that are going to be paying it. On top of that, I don't think this money is being spent equitably. In my district, if you live in my district, around Sam Rayburn High School, May Smith Elementary, the part of District E that is in Golden Acres, there is not one project from the $73 million in District E. That is not right, and I can't, with a good conscience, make the constituents of District E pay for this tax hike, pay for this debt, pay for this bond, and them get nothing in return. We need Preston and Burke and so many of the roads need to be done, and I will not be supporting it.
Thank you, sir. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed?
No.
We got 3 noes. Okay, Madam Secretary, brings us down to resolutions.
Resolution 2018-111, accepting a donation of food valued at $375 from Texas Roadhouse for the Team Up to Clean Up event on September 8, 2018 for lunch for volunteers.
Motion Lehman. Second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Resolution 2018-112, accepting a donation $500 from H&H Industrial EPC for the Texas International Shootout Wheelchair Basketball Tournament.
Motion Lehman, second Harrison. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Resolution 2018-113, accepting a donation of $100 from Connie Duff for the Team Up to Clean Up event, September 7th to 8th, 2018 for drinks for volunteers.
Motion Shanebine, second Wheeler. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Resolution 2018-114, accepting a donation $1,000 from Lubrizol for the 2018 Wheelchair Wind-Up Softball Tournament.
Motion Caceres, second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
And Resolution 2018-115, accepting a grant extension from the State of Texas, Texas Automobile Burglary and Theft Prevention Authority in the amount of $76,000.
Motion Shanebine, second Bass. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all so much for attending our city council meeting. God bless. Have a great week.